Okay, this is Jeff Long from Turonen's World of Warplanes, Turonen's Unfriendly Channel, to be exact, to the channel location. I've been asked this question over and over again, how do I make videos? And there's lots of videos out there, but none of them do a real good job of just telling you what to do and how to do it. And instead, there's lots of back chatter. There's lots of all about me and how you'll be successful if you just follow my subscribe and hit my Patreon button. That's not helpful. So I wanted to put something together that's quick, concise. You got it in 1 hour. I will show you everything that I'm doing. That doesn't mean it's the best way to do it. Doesn't mean it's the only way to do it, but it is the way to get this done first time out and not spend more money than you have to. Now, that being said, we're going to discuss, and let's break this down into components. Without a proper computer, you're not going to be able to get it done. Without a proper graphics processing unit, GPU slash video card, you're not going to get this done. And you're going to need enough memory, at least 16 gigs, to get this done. All right. So those are the things we're going to take. That's what we're going to be discussing today. And then we'll talk about the software platform, because without the good software platform, you're not going to get it done. All right. So I'm going to try to break this down into easily to follow rules to do, how to use it, the software platform that I use, the hardware platform that I use, what I'm suggesting. It's not the only way to do it. It's just the way that I know that is absolutely correct, that will absolutely work for you. All right, so let's get started, and thank you. Okay, so let's start with the basics. First off, you're going to need to get a YouTube account. And then I'm going to strongly suggest that you brand your account. That takes your name off of it, lets you brand your channel the way you want. Now, when I talk about branding, what does that mean? You're going to need logos, and in my case, I even use theme music. So, what are you talking about? Well, this is something that I have not had a lot of success. It took me a long time to get this, is what I'm trying to say. But it's a way of images and music that people will associate with your videos. And let me give you an example. Now you'll notice the theme music. You'll notice how I have the title of my gaming channel here. Again, the name of the channel and the aircraft that I am using. And good. Okay. So that's branding. And if you go to the end of the video, that's the header, and for lack of a better term, I have a trailer. So when it's all said and done, I've done everything with my video that I want to do and capture the things that I want to capture. Then I have a trailer. And you'll see it come up. Again, you'll notice the same thing. Again, my name. And then I have a little catchphrase at the end of it that I use. Now, I run a gaming channel. Where you play against other players and robot run aircraft that all try to shoot you down. So where everyone wants you dead seemed very apropos in the particular instance. So that's branding. Now you can go get your images. You don't have to pay a dime for the images. And if you'll follow along with me, we'll try to keep your costs to a minimum, but you're going to have to lay out some money from minute one. So let's go first off with what you need for hardware. Okay, everybody likes to talk about And that's part of the problem that I ran across when I decided I wanted to do gaming, a gaming channel on YouTube. Um, so, a number of things. First off, you're going to need a computer hefty enough to do this because video editing, storing, recording is some of the tougher things that a computer is asked to handle. And so you're going to need a decent CPU. I don't care what you use, but you're going to, be prepared to spend some money on a decent computer. And it's going to come down, and I'm going to talk about a few things here that will be of use to you here. All right. Um, you're going to want a higher tier Pentium chip, or you're going to want one of the high-end AMD chips. Okay. You make your own choices about that, but your computer is going to be doing a lot of work. When it comes to storage, people don't talk about this. Your average storage on a computer for this kind of work, uh, let me bring up the. So this is an average file for me, which is about 8 to 10 minutes, maybe a little longer. And it's 15.9 gigabytes. Okay. When you come up here, you'll see these are the files I'm working with right now, and they are on a uh, solid state drive. They're getting ready to be yanked down, as a matter of fact. Um, and again, 4.5 gigabytes, 3.6 gigabytes. Uh, 3.75. So you start getting an idea of the number of this one is 7 and 3.42. So what I'm trying to get to, and the reason I'm showing this, is that if you get into this very seriously, you're going to start running into storage issues. A 1 terabyte disk will not get it done. Having a single disk on your hard drive on your system, regardless of what you choose, will not get it done. Now, I use a solid state drive for my programs and gaming because it makes it faster. But I don't keep any video files on it for very long because they will flat chew through all your capacity on your hard drive. And if you're doing a very long, these are 8 to 10, 12-minute, sometimes 15-minute videos. Uh, but it doesn't take a whole lot of leap to understand that you're going to start going through video space and you have your normal multi-use computer and you start doing video editing on top of it, and it's going to become a real problem for you. So I recommend that you get a second high quality, very large capacity uh, secondary drive put on. At the minimum, I actually use 3. I have a 1 terabyte solid state drive I use for processing. I have a 2 terabyte that I use for the majority of normal programs, and then I use a 4 terabyte drive for all my video work and storage. Okay. That's my choice. You can obviously get by with less, but I would recommend if you got just to have one drive on your system, then for God's sake, get at least a 2 terabyte drive. I would recommend 4. All right, the next thing you're going to have to spend some money on, and I'm really not kidding about this, you're going to want to have to spend some money on it. And be careful of your manufacturer. First off, I recommend the NVIDIA chipset. There's have nothing against Radeon or anything else, but they come with some utilities, and the ease of using their drivers just makes it a very compelling choice to me. All right, so you're going to ask, Okay, what's the minimum I can get away with? I'm not going to go there. All right, I think there's a lot of choices out there, and there's a lot of choices that will prove to be marginal at best. You're going to have to invest some serious money in a serious video card to do this if you're going to be doing it at more than just a hobby level. Okay. So, things I recommend the 1060 chipset. That's what I'm using. Anything above that, you should be just fine too. The 1070, the 1080s, there's 1090s out there, and you can spend ridiculous amounts of money. You don't have to spend that kind of money on it, but they're out there. And manufacturers do matter. All right, the PNY series is not the cheapest out there, but they are very reliable. You can spend crazy, sick amounts of money on video cards. The 1080, 11 gig blower, overclocked editions, so forth and so on. There is a bang for your buck here. And 1080 series is very good. The 1070 series is very good. I use a 1060. There are times when I wish I'd used I'd gone to the 1080, but for the most part, this gets the job done for me. So any of the 1060 cards are usually pretty good, and more video memory is very important. So spending a few extra bucks to get a good card will immensely ease your task. You'll notice there's going to be a difference between this card and this card. It is most likely going to be in video memory, which the video GPU, graphics processor unit, actually uses to render your videos. And it is extremely computer intensive process. All right. Once you get that in place, the next thing you're going to want to get is headphones, and be prepared to spend a little bit of money on it. You're going to want a noise canceling mic, and it's helpful when you don't have extraneous sounds coming in, and they will cancel out a lot of things. You'll notice if you go back to some of my earlier videos, you can constantly hear my lips smacking. Now, part of that is you learn to keep the mic just a little bit further away from your mouth, and you do a good job at keeping your mouth open more than you would, because a non-noise canceling mic will pick that up. And so you hear pop, pop, pop as your lips go back and forth. In fact, one guy commented, you don't need to eat, drink, and chew while you're making a video. Well, I wasn't doing any of those things, but learn from my mistakes. All right, I had a cheap Microsoft headphone mic that I thought it'd do just fine. Well, it didn't. All right. And you have to understand that when you put this together, you're putting yourself out there. You're representing the quality of your work, and it will show up over time. So these are some of the minimums. Get yourself a decent monitor. You're going to be looking at these screens a lot, and bigger is better. Okay, so I recommended a video card, and I did it for another reason, and that is something called the GeForce Experience. And you can download this, and it also comes with a program that will load up into your computer with no effort whatsoever. You push Alt-Z, and it actually does the capture for you on whatever the native format is, depending on how you set it up. All right, so when I go and I pull this up, and I can just go down to NVIDIA, and I can actually pull up GeForce Experience. And then I'm just showing you where you can download it at. And here it is. And you can go to once you got this on, you hit Alt-Z, it will actually pop it up, and you'll let you record when you want to. It'll also optimize the card and the game to use your card. It's tremendously easy to use. So you don't have to worry about a third-party video capture. It comes with your video card, and that makes things much easier than I've tried some of the video screen capture stuff that comes with other um, platforms and software packages, and this is by far the best for me. And I think you will find it also. So it just takes a big headache off your mind. All right. The next thing you're going to have to decide is what you're going to do to make a video. Now, you can just do it with this, believe it or not. If you don't want to do anything special with your video except just record it uh, and put it up, and you can do that over and over again with no problem and never have to correct anything, you can stop right here. However, I've never found a human being yet that, and talking with other channel providers, that has that experience. We're all human. We all make mistakes. We all misspeak. Sometimes we get something wrong and have to go back and edit it. Well, you can't do that without editing software. And the packages that are provided by Windows, so forth and just don't get the job done. Not if you're going to do anything serious. So you're going to end up at video editing software. And there are lots and lots and lots of things out there. And some of them are okay and some of them are not. And there is even a shareware version, which is an extremely heavy hitter, but it's difficult to use. And I will mention that so that you have an option of not spending any money. And it's called Lightshot. Lightshot. It's freeware. You can download it. I don't recommend it because it's extremely hard to use. And getting the output correct and everything else, I found I was spending far more time learning the program than I was doing what I wanted to do. So there are other things out there that are pretty darn good. And I looked at a number of them. One of them, you can use Adobe, you can use Corel. I don't recommend them for cost reasons and complexity reasons. They are wonderful programs, but there's a couple of problems. One is they're extremely complex to use. The second problem is that you buy them by the month. And you see this more and more in the software industry anymore. You can't just buy the program. You have to rent it. And they get an unending revenue stream, which is great for them, but you constantly have another bill coming in the door. And we're all so rich we don't need to worry about that at all, right? Well, no. And so you're paying for stuff that you don't have to. And that's true of a number of things. There's a program out there. Let's go ahead and bring that up. Called RedShark, which I used for a company called RedShark. Helps if I spell correctly, wouldn't it? Okay. And okay, so you have RedShark, and they have their own Lightworks program. And it's an amazing program. It does everything I wanted to do. But again, they wanted $36 a month. Or you can buy the program for a year. A number of things, but they all came back to recurring costs are extremely high costs. And so you have Lightworks. It's a wonderful program. It will do everything that the program I chose will do, but it costs more. Well, I'm not so interested in seeing how much I can pay out the nose to produce a video. All right. And it's one of the problems that irritated me the most is that you can go out and spend $4,000 on video cards and editing software and really high-end gear, and it really doesn't get you that much. Also, you have to consider, what are you going to do? Well, if you're doing stuff like at a pro level where, it's going to show up in business meetings, and you're doing presentations for your company and so forth and so on. First off, you probably already have this gear, and it's only you're watching this video because it's entertaining. But if you don't, and you actually are getting into it for the first time, then you can justify some of these expenses because you can put them on a business account or something. But generally, you're not going to get that much more until you're going to be doing this full time for a job, and that's kind of getting out of the scope. All right. So I finally decided, I looked at a number of these products. I tried some of them. Light Shot I didn't like very much, just because it was so difficult to use, and getting things properly outputted for YouTube was just phenomenally difficult, and ruined videos, and lots of time and lots of jacking with it before you finally got a good product. That's not what I want to be spending my time on. It's great to be the guru for Light Shot, but was that buying me? Well, not a whole lot. Okay, so Lightworks works, but they wanted to go to, where you pay by the month to use their program, and you pay forever, and I'm not interested in that. So I went ahead and tried several different things, and I finally ended up with ProDirector 16 from Cyberlinks. And it does everything that I needed to do. It does it at a very professional level, in my opinion. And it comes with quite a bit of stuff. I think I paid a grand total of $59 plus tax for it. One time. Now, don't get me wrong, you can get more bells and whistles on it and get whatever you want, but didn't pay a whole lot for it, and it's a one-time purchase. And you're done. That's it. You've got what you need. All right. So we already talked about how you capture your videos with the NVIDIA project, and I can actually pull that up. I think you can see it. And this is it, GeForce Experience. You can actually record, so forth and so on, and that's where you get your capture. Now, I can go and I can pull up a file, and you can start a project. Okay, so now we have this. Now, what are we going to do with it? All right, so we've demonstrated how GeForce Experience works and how you can capture with it. Now, if you want to use some other platform, be my guest, but this works very well for me and what I want to do. What you want to do next is, if you just want to do basic video editing, you can go here to File, you can go to Import, go to Media Files, and you notice these are the working files I talked about. You can pull something down. And you can actually play it, make sure it's what you want. Here we have an F-86, and this is World of Warplanes. And what I'm looking for here is make sure that the basic sound and everything is okay. You'll notice there's no voice. There's nothing else you would hear in one of my videos. There's no trailer. There's no header.
Show me what you can do, pilots.
So everything that you see is now coming from the game. Because when I recorded it, I hit the mute button on my mic. So we have it here, and that's just great. Okay, so we're going to pull this down. So first we're going to stop, and at this point, you just pull this on down, and there you go, and you're ready to go. Now it's the entire, just over 10 minutes of video, 10 minutes and 18 seconds to be exact. At this point, you may be wondering, okay, so we've got this, and there are a number of things that you can do with this. The main thing, well, there's just lots and lots of stuff to do here. Okay, so let's say common video tests. I don't like the sound, or for some reason it's not right. You can come over here and you can lock this bar, and it takes it out. And then you can come here and you can simply delete every bit of sound out of it. Now, when you play it, there's no sound at all. Why would I do that? Well, maybe you don't want to hear the game commentary. Maybe you want to put in your own custom music. And you can do that easily enough too. All right, again, you're using the same import function. Okay, so we're going to stop this. And we're going to pull down a sound. Now you can get that from the Pro 16 directory of all sorts of various songs and stuff that you can have here. Now let's play this again. Okay, so you hear that sound all the time on my videos, and so you can just pull down soundtracks. Now, the soundtracks can be any length you want. You can cut them off wherever you want. I'll show you how to do that here in a minute, too. So you heard that in the header and trailer earlier in the video. Okay, I use that because this game is essentially one of hunting and trying not to get killed. And Last of the Mohicans, that particular song reminded me very much of that. Okay, but I don't like this. I want the sound back from the original deal. Okay. You can lock this back. We can get rid of it. And it never happened. You're back to square one. All right, so then you can do other things with this that are just tasks that you're going to do every day. Now, you'll see two things here. When I come up, you'll see the little clock in the center with the right and left arrows. And then what you can also see where you can split the bar. Or this actually, you see that clock actually expands the timeline. So if you want to do fine editing, you can really bring this thing out so you can slice and dice any way you want to. Okay. So this is your video head. You can go to any part that you want to go to, and you can tell that by the little blue arrows going right and left, and you can drag it where you want. Okay, so I have a section in here I don't want. Now this gets easy, and you have to understand something about video editing software. They are all idiosyncratic, some much more than others. Some are much easier to deal with than others. Part of the thing which attracted me to this and to Lightworks was that it was very easy to work with, very intuitive. And I cannot tell you how rare that is to find in video software. So you want to get rid of a section. You come over here, split the timeline. Okay, that's nice. Now I want to come over here, split the timeline. But I just want the sound disappearing from here. Somebody was cussing on my video. Okay, so we're going to lock the video. You know, your son, daughter, mother, father, you know, got a bit of a potty mouth, and your good way to get yourself in trouble with YouTube is have a lot of cussing on your video. You know, they'll demonetize you very quickly if you're making money from them. You can get community strikes, so forth and so on. So you can just simply remove and leave the gap, and you can go stick some other sound in there if you want. Hit trim to fit, and it will actually trim the song down for you. Okay, so now instead of hearing cussing, as you go to the video head, you notice the pointer changes. So we have a normal game with normal sound going on right now. And you hear the machine guns going and so forth and so on. See the aircraft blow up, you get the explosions, and Little Johnny comes in and starts cussing up a storm. And you don't want that on your videos. They're professional. That's not what the image you're trying to provide. Don't want to get in trouble with YouTube. Whatever the reason is, you want to get rid of that sound. You want to replace it. Now listen. Okay, that's just 2 clicks of the bar and positioning your video head wherever you want it. All right. Now you can also do more complex things. And I recommend that you can, there's various ways to do this, but let's first unlock everything. And before, you can do this until you get comfortable with it. Okay, or you can simply go back to File, Open New Projects. Now, there's some other things that you can do with this program. You'll notice that you have all sorts of pictures here. This thing can deal with pictures, and one of the nice things about this is you can design. You notice the custom header and trailer that I had, and you now have an idea of how I put the Last of the Mohicans in there to unify this image I'm trying to put together to brand my product. Okay, so let's go import a picture, and go to downloads where I believe I have a picture that I want. Oh, there we go. And you'll see the picture that I like. Okay, so I'll take that and I'll put that up here. And then you can expand that. And all I did was just bring it over. You can expand it to whatever size you want. And I use the theme of the Avenging Angel. It looks like an Avenging Angel to me. You then take your music. Now you can actually trim the music, or you can actually just expand your picture. All right. Okay, so that's a nice little intro. Put whatever picture you want. Don't like Warrior Angels in, that's just not the theme you want. Okay, well, that's fine. Let's do something else. Okay, so now if that lighthearted music now kind of matches the picture, right? a nature video or a hiking video. All that stuff can be done with this. All right, now you have to do with titles. Well, what the heck do I do? And you can play with titles to your heart's content. You know, you can put a 3D title up. You can put a, you'll notice this is where I got the ending phrase for my channel here. You can also do something like this. And again, you notice you see that. Okay, and you can actually bring it down wherever you want. Actually, it goes in a very specific place, but you can put it there. And let's go ahead and run our video head back. All right, and then you can put now you can add special effects if you want to. You get the idea here. So if you don't want that, you can yank that and put this in here. And you can also, let's talk a little bit about this. The video head out of the way for the moment. You can also expand this out or contract it on either side. And you can also trim your music video. You're not hostage to the length of the song. Okay. And put the video tail back here. This is another one that took me a little bit to figure out. But you can actually come right here and you can double click on this and you can put in here your own title. So you just come up here and all I did was double click on this. I can take that out because, you know, Cyberlink Pyro Director made all this possible, right? But, you know. And now the title's changed. So we very quickly have developed a theme, and I would do this on if I had a portable video rig and I wanted to talk about, you know, this field that I found out. And you can use this as your header, and then you can come up with something else for your footer, trailer, whatever you want to call it. And you can save this all in a project. So if you're using the same and you're wanting to brand your video, this makes this very easy to do. And then you can play with special effects with this all day long. Okay, you also have a specular map here where you can play with stuff. This is fun. Okay. So I wanted to put that. Okay, so we're talking about how I make a movie. All right, so next thing I can do here is I've showed you how to make a trailer, and I've showed you how to make, you can use the same technique to make a footer. Or a header and a trailer, I should say. All right, so we're going to import. Or I'm sorry, we're going to open a project. And sure enough, if you look here, here's a header and a trailer. Okay. Now I have my header and my trailer. And if you'll see, I have them lined up. We have two, and you can see right here where I put in the special effects. And there is the trailer. Again, you'll notice the two special effects title pages here. And this is a specular map, but it comes in a big size, which gives me the otherworldly effect there. And now, and you're actually seeing production taking place here, by the way, folks. Okay, so you'll see the little fragment in here. And that's a, quarter of a second or so I'm not going to bother with that. And then I'm going to import media files, and I'm going to go to right here, and all I have to do is insert on the track right here at the top. So I just double clicked on that, insert on the selected track, and then you insert and move all clips. So all that's done, and now it is ready to be produced if I didn't want to do a voiceover. Now, to do a voiceover, all you have to do is put it where you want to. Now, I got the nice title music. I don't want that messed up. And if you notice, you keep a pointer low, just take the video ahead to wherever you want. In this case, I'd want it there. You come here. And my suggestion, a very strong suggestion, by the way, is kick this way up. Now, at this point, all you do is hit the red recording button, and you can see where it's picking up my voice, and you make your commentary. Now, obviously, you don't want to hear 12 minutes of my, or 10 minutes of my chattering about the game, but you get the idea. So you hit this. Now, you also have this button here, and it allows you to mute all the sounds from the game if you want, if you just want your voice. And that's occasionally helpful. Sometimes I'm flying with friends, and we're just chatting, and we're talking about everything but the game. And it is a big distraction from what you're doing on your clip. Boom. Click that, and down here, you will see a recording taking place. When you're done, and you can actually see how it comes, and you'll have to practice with this one a little bit. To wrap up, you'll know when you get there, and you can see the video head as it's moving along, and you have to kind of figure out your closing spiel, and then you'll be at your trailer. This is all but ready to produce. All right. So we'll stop here. I'm going to go ahead and record this, and then we'll move on to the next section. Okay, so having now recorded the video, you can see it from the screen. You can see it still reacting. And down here, you can see the voiceover. So when I come in, and I put the video head back where it belongs, and I won't run you through the intro anymore. We'll just start it from right there, and we'll play it. Now you'll see the mistake that I'm making already. And good day. Today we have, you're flying to run in the very unfriendly skies, and today we have the F-86 Sabre A. Yeah. Okay, so now I have our voice component. All right. So I showed you in the how to make a header, and I have a previous video. Okay, so now when I run this back, when you check your work, I cannot stress this enough. It's boring, it's repetitive, but if you're going to get into this business and do this, you've got to do it. And good day. Okay, now we know that this video is ready to produce. Okay, so we have been working with the editing screen this whole time, and now we're going to move to produce. All right, and the easiest and quickest way to do this, if you're making stuff for YouTube, is you go to the online section here. So you have your standard 2D, 3D device, devices if you have something you want to record too. We're going to go to online. And here is one of the gotchas you need to be aware of. This will produce a really crummy thumbnail size video. Now, I capture these in 1920 by 1080. You can do what you want. This is quicker. Or if you just want to do a standard quality, you can, or lower quality, you can go the 640 by 360. You'll have to make your own decision here. All right, so this is now ready. Now, if I want to put this up immediately, I can do this and then just hit start, and you make a choice here. You have to put your video category. This is a gaming video, obviously. You have other choices. This is actually puts the title, so I'll put my title in here. Always comes first. And here, you put in whatever you want to say about the aircraft. And down here is your tag, and I'm doing World of Warplanes. And you're ready to go. Now, actually, this is going to go private, and then I will go into YouTube and schedule it. So I want to go here. I'm not going to mess with all this stuff right now. And then you can just simply start, authorize, going to Unfriendly Skies, and then I allow. And it's just that simple. Okay, we're done. Now you get to sit and wait and wait and wait for it to get done. And obviously, that's of no interest to you, but we will stop this, and then we will take it up, and you can actually watch this being worked. Okay, so we have the video file now is uploaded, and you can simply click on that link, and now here's my video. And you can schedule this as public. And we will go to the 24th, since I already have something for the 23rd. And we will go here, 8 a.m. And we'll save. Now, this is important. You always, 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 I've learned this the hard way of 2 or 3 disasters, check the video. Now what we're seeing is an actual, what the end user is going to see. Now go to full screen. Let's make sure everything's the way it's supposed to be. And you notice you got bright crisp edges. You're listening for voice now. And good day. Today we have, you're flying to run in the very unfriendly skies, and today we have the F-86 Sabre A. Yes, I still have issues with that. And we are flying Burning Shores Phase 3. Now, the F-86 is renowned, but if you need a little history on it, here it is. This aircraft. All right, so you would follow this all the way out, but we're going to do the short version. Now that I got that diatribe out of the way, this thing can get anywhere you need. So the piloting skills that you collect along the way contribute to these. Now, normally I do this, I normally just wait and write them 10-15 minutes to get it through, but that's asking an awful lot of you, the viewer, to see. You have to keep your customer. I came to love the Fury. I love this. I'm not doing this for you, you're doing this for your customer, right? I wish the World of Warplanes would do it just deserves. It really deserves to be. But we'll just do a random sample through here. Is when you decide to go the way it should be going. And the G model, or the H model, excuse me, not the G model, that came with 4. And what the customer is seeing is one unified file. Okay, all that stuff, all that work we did is now in one file, inseparable. Okay, we'll continue on. All right. Got an Akazuki medal or whatever that's pronounced. I don't have a clue how that's being pronounced. But, okay, you go through the little announcement section experience, and I never. And normally I would go through all this, but you can see I had a very good game, 16 kills and an assist, which is important to the viewer here. And make sure my transitions are all right. And you see the little fragments in there, but they're so short. And you have your watermark here, which you set up in. So I don't have all the end screens and stuff. Just have this. And there you go. Okay. So we've done everything and put a finished product up there. So that is the long and short of it. All right. So, and you can actually save your file. Save project as, and header and trailer is what I'm standard would use. So we're just going to make this the F-86A, and Burning Shores was the event. Now you can get up to 256 characters in here, so be descriptive, because I know, for instance, I use a shorthand here, the BB210 final, that means this is the final upgrade for this. So I'm done with that, right? but I can go back and very quickly know what I'm doing. But if you think that you're going to remember something after you've been through your 7th, 8th, 9th, 10th, and I've got over 450 videos out, you won't. So you need to be descriptive here. Okay, so it's saving off. The third drive that I use is an external drive, and it's a little slower. It takes a little while for it to get through. Okay, now we're done with Power Director. So let's finish up with some thoughts here. Okay, as for the equipment, I do believe you need a high-end CPU. Okay. Other people can say what they want, but you need, just like a good house, you need good bones. For this type of editing that's as tough on the computer as video editing, a good CPU is good bones. You cannot skimp on your video card. 1060, I think, is pretty much minimal requirements to do something very complex. And then, so those are and you're going to need a fair amount of disk space. God forbid that you should have a problem, but if you're producing this sort of stuff and God, hope you'll be successful in monetizing, then this works out very well. Okay. What doesn't work well is skimping and then saying, oh, I wish I'd never produced a single video with that crummy Microsoft headset that I had. Okay, so do you have to have an ultra expensive system? Well, no, I don't think so. You can order most of this stuff from Dell or Hewlett Packard or whoever you want to. Asus puts together some pretty good systems. In general, if you've got a good gaming system, you probably have the bones to do it. Video cards. I have nothing against Radeon. But I find the NVIDIA systems much easier, graphics cards much easier to use. The software support is much more integrated in my experience. So do you really, so I went with what I knew worked. Other things, you can make arguments for. But, when you're working day after day with this stuff, you want a good video card, you want a good monitor, you want a good CPU, you want a good graphics card, you want a good headset. You have to live with those things every single day. All right? And repeatability is a big issue when you're producing videos. You don't want your viewer saying, I wonder if, this is going to be a good or bad quality video. You're going to be variability regardless of what you do, but you want to control as much of that as you can. Listen, I hope that you found this useful. I hope that it is informative. I hope it gives you just what you need to start with, but this is what I do on a daily basis and how to do it. Let me know. Your feedback's important to me. If I won't produce any more of these if I don't get some feedback that says, yeah, this is useful to me. I'm a gaming producer, so, I don't mind helping people out, and I enjoyed doing this. I'd like to do more of it, but I need to know that the public wants to receive it. All right. Thank you very much. You have a good day. Bye-bye.